I'm live. Cole Caulfield. Gotta start out with Cole Caulfield. Anyways, I don't know if I'm behind. I got two computers here. Hey everybody, welcome in to Saturday Night with me, Rick. Talking Habs version of Livestream. Cole Caulfield. Anybody see that goal? Anybody here? Hey Levi. Good to see you again. 2 nights in a row. Yeah, we'll let everybody come in. I'll just say this, just in case. Had a power failure here, half hour before the stream. Thank God it came back. So just in case something happens, it goes out, it's because there's a power failure. I can't help it. I'll come back on as soon as I can. If it does happen, hopefully it won't happen. Knock wood, it won't happen. Yeah, that Caulfield goal. There was. Did you see the goalie's reaction? He looked behind him like, "Hey, how the hell did that get through?" Unbelievable. This kid is unbelievable. And you know something? I saw. Okay, I don't know if anybody's out here. Anyways, for you guys, uh, either I read a quote or I saw an interview with him. I think I read a quote where he says how he doesn't try to. I don't know if it's try to beat the goalie or what he tries to do is he finds a spot where he can score and he tries to beat the goalie to that spot with the puck. And I saw him do it. If you watch that with that in mind, watch that clip. Oh, it goes over and over. I watched it about 100 times. And you can see him beat him to that spot. He found a spot and he beats him. And I hope I'm not mistaking it for that other goal like that where it was on the short side. But oh my God, that was a beautiful goal. Okay, let me get back to you guys. Sports King, Nolan. That everybody so far? Okay. Let's see. Yeah, Caulfield looking good. Yeah, I don't know about Wisconsin. I think he's going to go for the year, but and look, just because he looks great like that there, he might still need another year or two before he looks like that in the NHL. But believe me, one day he will look like that. This kid has a talent that's unbeatable. It's amazing. Nolan, do I think the Habs will make the playoffs? Yes, I do. Okay, so if you watched, I just put out a video projecting the points for all the players and everything. And in doing that, of course, I projected for Carey Price and Kincaid, which I gave the Habs 100 points for the season, which I think 100 points is enough to make the playoffs. Wild card spot, maybe. But yeah, I do think they'll make the playoffs. I am a glass half full kind of guy most of the time, and especially with my Habs. So yeah. Let's see now. Greetings, Peter, from the west. From the east to the west and the west to the east. Levi, yeah, I kind of do. I think I agree with you that he needs another year in Wisconsin. That he needs the year in Wisconsin, and you may find he takes two. Isn't that what Paling did? He took 2 years in Wisconsin. It wasn't Wisconsin, St. Cloud University. But I think he does. I think he goes to Wisconsin, which means he won't be at camp. So anybody expecting to see him at camp, maybe on the sidelines watching, but he can't be at camp if he's going to the NCAA. There's rules involved there. Cole Caulfield. I'm trying to do a video to give him a nickname. I don't want to ruin it here, but it's out there on Twitter, and I think we ought to give this guy a nickname, and it is the best nickname for him. I can't think of a better one, but Goal Caulfield. That's what he does is score them, and that's what he should be called, Goal Caulfield. So from now on, I'm pretty much going to call him Goal Caulfield. So if I say goal, it looks like I'm talking about someone. I'm talking about him. Nolan, you're in BC. Greetings in BC. Christian, Ghislaine Laframboise. Salut. Omer. Hey, Omer. I don't think they signed him yet. No, they're not going to sign him to an ELC yet. Don't forget, they can sign him to the ELC as long as they do it before he starts to play. So I don't think they're not going to waste a year on an ELC with him. I mean, if you got him, you'd want to keep him within a price range as long as you can, and because he's going to demand a lot of money in his day. Let's see now. Do I think Suzuki will be in the starting lineup? No, I don't really. Again, in my predictions video I just put out today, I do think Suzuki will play, and I kind of think he's going to play about half a season. Whether for injury or because he's playing so well they have to call him up, I don't know. But I'm giving him 25 points for the season, 10 goals, 15 assists. So I do think he'll play, but I don't think he's going to start the season. Something tells me he won't. Yeah, Nolan, goal Caulfield. Let's start that. Hey, David, greetings in Ottawa. Gislain, there's something that they all forget is which player should we protect the expansion? Should we keep our prospect in the minor? Well, you know what? That's a really good point, and it's a reason why you might see Caulfield spend 2 years in NCAA, so they don't have to protect him or lose him. So yeah, although I guess if he misses this year and he starts next year, not sure how many games, but I guess he can't play a full year before that entry draft because I think there's a limit. Like guys who didn't play too many games, they don't have to be protected, I think, but he'll play. If I lose my voice, I'm sorry. I've been having trouble with my voice all day. So that's a good point, Gislain. I haven't really thought about that, but yeah. And it may be a reason why we see Suzuki stay in Laval. Is the same thing. They want to keep them without having to protect them. Peter, yeah. You know what? It's funny because I offhand had read that somewhere, and then it came, that piece of knowledge. But I'm sure there's a rule that they can't. He can't go on the ice at all when their camp's on. Same reason why Romanov, when he was in Montreal, he couldn't be at the development camp. There's no agreement with the KHL and the NHL, so they can't have him in camp while he's under contract to the KHL. And I think it's the same thing when a guy's committed to the NCAA, can't go to camp. Sports King, you see he's making a trade or signing someone before or during training camp. Yeah, I sort of do. I mentioned it in another video. I like this Michael Frolik option. Frolik adds something that everyone's been on, not everybody, but somebody's been on me about size. He's 6'2". He's got, I don't know if he plays with a mean streak, but he's a physical player. Uses his size to his advantage. He's got 1 year left on his contract. Calgary really can't pay him. Draft choices might get him. So something like that. I can see a trade like that. If not, it's Frolik, it's somebody else, but maybe. I'm not sure. The signs are with Bergevin. There's no signs. It's going to happen, and we're not going to see any signs. So I don't know. Hard to tell. Paling, let's go Paling. Wake up, Drouin. Let's go. Yeah, Paling. Not that he's going to have a monster year, but I think he's going to have a really good rookie season. Challenge for the Calder Cup. I'm hoping. I don't think Jack Hughes. Well, Kako Capo. Okay. I don't think he's going to be better than Kako, but Paling might get as many points as Hughes. We might find out that Cole Caulfield was more part of Hughes than Hughes was of him. We'll see. Because with that sniper, that shot of his, I don't know what to call it. I saw that goal, and it was like, how did the puck get in there? As the goalie, I'll mention it now. I don't know if I said it just before. Nobody was in the room anyway. We're talking about Cole Caulfield, and the goalie scored this afternoon. The goalie there was nothing there. It must have gone in the little spot where his neck was, because the goalie, when he snapped his head to look in the net, he was shocked. That was Gravel, who was in the Memorial Cup, and he was really good. So it's not his fault. He had the net covered. There was no spot. And that's what I mean by my point. He beat him to that, covering the net. He saw the opening, and he beat him to that spot that he knew was there. The guy got there, but he got there too late. And so that's where I got lost. That's where my point was about what he says. He finds a spot, and he beats the goalie to that spot. He doesn't beat the goalie with sheer force. And maybe that was the point, too. He doesn't just blow it by the guy. He picks a spot, and he beats the guy to that spot. And I mean, that goal was proof of it. I hope I'm not getting behind on you guys here. I don't think so. Oh. Do I think they'll trade Drouin? It's looking less and less like it. Although I'll tell you this, when last year with Pacioretty, I guess as training camp approached, we figured they're not going to trade Patch. Training camp came, they looked really awkward together, Bergevin and Molson and Pacioretty. But what was going to happen? And then they traded him. So maybe, but I don't know. It doesn't look like it. Okay, I'm going to start falling behind soon. Not a Leafs fan, but I cheer for Toronto when they play Ottawa Senators. I know you don't like the Senators. I know. I get that. I guess the way I don't like the Leafs. If the Habs will trade Drouin, who do you think the Habs can get in return? I mean, it's a good question at this point. Honestly, haven't really thought about it because I was thinking Philadelphia with Gospazier. Doesn't look like that's still on the board. But then again, like I said with Bergevin, he keeps his cards really close to his chest, and we probably won't find out till it happens. So maybe something like that can still happen. Hang on one second. I'm really thirsty. If you watch my video from today, you can hear it in my voice. Having some kind of throat issues. So sorry about that. Okay. Where were we now? Just to make sure I know where I drew at. It's really hard to say at this point. I would like to think that if they're going to trade with Winnipeg, that rumored trade for Laine, Drouin would be involved in that. Trying to think. I haven't heard anything else. I can't think offhand. I really think you got to look at a team that has cap issues. So right now, Calgary has big cap issues, and they've got to sign Tkachuk. So that's why I'm saying Frolik, because it makes sense. $4.3 million is a big hit on the cap when you're trying to sign a guy you don't have the money for that's going to ask for $9 million. So I can't think of anybody else. Anybody else think of anything? Let's talk about it. I can't think of anywhere else offhand. If I think of anything, we'll go back to it. Let's see. Mete, 3 goals, 21 assists. Sports King, yeah, you're probably right. When I was doing the video, I said in there, 8 goals might be a little lofty. I can see 5. I can legitimately see 5. And if he really breaks the dam open, 8 is possibility, but I like the 21 assists. He's going to be somewhere in the 20 to 25 assist range. That's what I think. And look, he'll get his game. He's young. He's going to get his game. He just has to pot 1 goal, and it'll start happening. Have I heard anything about ECHL affiliation might help Laval? No, actually, I don't know who ECHL affiliate, if we have one or not. Honestly, I don't. Those are the kind of things I'm going to learn over the years. I'm not trying to immerse myself too much in those things because I learn them a little bit at a time, and I got so much to learn that, yeah. So I apologize for my lack of knowledge there, and I refer to the hockey guy who seems to know bloody everything about everything. I don't know how that's possible. It's like he's a Pierre Maguire that it's not hard to watch. He knows that. Yeah. So I don't know that. I think Keith Kincaid will bounce back and do good for our Montreal. Yeah, well, I'm not looking for miracles, but a winning record. I gave him 11, 9, and 4, I think, in 24 games is what I'm kind of thinking. I wouldn't be surprised to see him do something like 13, 14 wins. I can see that. So, yeah. I gave him good numbers. I thought 290 and 906 save percentage is good numbers for him. It bounced back from his numbers last year anyway. And I think, last year he was playing some starter minutes, a lot of them, from what I understand. I think he's better as a backup, so I think he'll do better that way right there. Unless Carey gets hurt, I'm knocking wood, that he's not going to, so Kincaid won't have that problem this year. And he'll give Price a little bit of a break from what he's used to. Plus, I think Price wants a veteran guy so he doesn't have to babysit. That's the term I've heard. Okay, I'm going to have to scroll up because you guys are coming in a little fast. Okay. Do I know Caulfield's stats? So, yeah, he has 4 goals and 3 assists in 5 games. for that tournament. He was named the MVP. And 2 goals were almost impossible. How does a guy score like that from that angle? What a laser beam of a shot. And he puts it where he wants. Has anybody seen I'm sorry, I'm wasting questions back. Has anybody seen the video on Twitter of, I guess it's a meme. I don't know if it's really him or not, but it's 2 kids playing hockey in the living room. I think it's Caulfield as a really young kid, 3 years old, taking slap shots at, I guess, his brother in net. And he had a little bit of a shot then. And if he's been doing that since he's 2, 3 years old, no wonder he's such a magician with a shot. I've never seen such accuracy with a shot. And if you watch that highlight today, watch it over and over and over again. You see, he put it where he wanted to. He was interviewed after, and he said he just took a shot because they were running out of time on the power play, and they weren't getting a lot of shots, so he just took a shot. But he knew where he was putting it. I have no doubt in my mind he knew where it was going. So to have that accuracy is amazing. I can't wait to see what he can do when he's finally ready for Montreal. Galactic Underwear. Hey, buddy, my favorite name. Hang on a second now. Hey, Gislan, thanks for the subscribe. Appreciate it. Just told me. It doesn't tell me everybody, but it just told me, and you're in the room. Thank you. Appreciate it, buddy. Hope you enjoy your time here. Let's see now. Where was I? I brought my space fruit of the looms and ready to talk hockey. Good evening. That's what we're doing tonight, talking hockey, as long as my voice holds out. I think Shea Weber could be a James Norris Trophy winner next year. I don't know. I don't know if Weber's Norris Trophy days are over, but he's going to be good. That's all that matters. He's really going to be good. Anybody who knocks him is just jealous that we have him now. Yes, he gets injured. We have that problem. It's a problem. I get that. Let's hope he doesn't again, knocking wood. But, I mean, the guy puts up numbers. The guy, he's fantastic protecting, pushing other guys around. I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but he's just a rock back there. Let's see now. Have I heard anything about, no, I went there. Drouin kind of remind me of a guy like Alex Kovalev. Yes. Attitude-wise and talent-wise, it's true. Definitely. He did not play all the games with the same intensity, but when he played, one of the best players on the ice, so he's streaky. He's streaky and frustrating, but yeah, he's an Alex Kovalev type, which is another reason why, and I don't know if I've said this, is why I'm glad they didn't pick Kaliev, because Kaliev's going to be a player like that, apparently. But yeah, it's a good way to put it. The difference is that even when he's not playing every game, Kovalev was capable of putting up 80 points. And today's video, again, I'm referring to it because I gave Drouin, I think, 21 and 40, 61. And I said, it's a little improvement over this year, past season. And but it's not his potential. The guy's got 80-point potential for sure. Just on the power play. He had the most power play points last year, and he doesn't try hard. So, yeah, Drouin's very disappointing. So I hope he has a breakout year this year, but, I mean, his record kind of shows he's going to do a little better. That's it. Do I think Marner will stay with the Leafs or go to a different team? That's a good question. I really don't know what's going on there. I don't know if it's that. Obviously, Marner, apparently he wants the biggest contract in the league. So he wants a lot of money. Is it that the Leafs are just waiting till they can put together the money before they offer him a deal? Or is he just holding out for more than they're offering? I don't know what's going on there. Don't follow the Leafs closely enough. But they make a big mistake not to sign this guy somehow. Without a doubt, Marner is an elite player. If not a franchise player, he's definitely an elite player. I don't know if he's a generational player, but he's an elite player. Let's see. Again, Gislan, Nolan, okay, you're answering him. Galactic, well, the hockey guy watches every hockey game. Full-time job. Anybody who watched that much hockey would know what he knows. I'll tell you the truth. I don't think I could do it. When I was younger, I didn't watch every game, But I followed hockey in every way I could. Otherwise, I watched a lot of games. Mostly that to be Habs. I was never a big guy watching other games, but I knew all the players. I knew what was going on. I could do some of what he does, but no, he knows so much. It's crazy. And I couldn't watch that many games. I think I'd go nuts for that long. It was like 9 months. I don't know how long it was, but 9 months watching every game, as many as you can anyway, and putting out 4, 5 videos a day. I struggle to put out 2. Yeah, it's not easy what he does. But I think he knew he's been following the game like that for a lot of his life. So, he didn't just start doing the channel and then now watching so much hockey. Yeah, he's watching more hockey than he ever did. I'll give you that. But he watched a lot of hockey. He knew a lot for many years to get the knowledge he has now, because he knows a lot of history and a lot of stuff. I'm older than him. I know a little more history sometimes, but he knows it in some of it in way more depth than I do, and I'm very impressed with his knowledge of NHL history, and not just because he can read about it or whatever. No, he has a lot of knowledge of what. And he does not like the Montreal Canadiens as far as he won't cheer for them, but I respect his opinion of them, and he doesn't give them a knock unless they need to be knocked. I respect that from him, as a Boston Bruins fan that he is. Okay, let's get back to you guys. I'm sorry to ramble. Gotta move this. Yeah, that's what happens. Hang on, guys. Lost where I was. Almost found it. Almost there. Okay, I think I got it. Happy to see Sherrod take over for Ben. Yeah. Oh, that's a definite upgrade. Sherrod's going to be really good. I'll answer this and then I'll. Sherrod's going to be really good. Look, we needed a guy who's tough on defense. He's a guy who can. This is what I don't know a lot about him, but I read since he's a guy who takes these high quality scoring chances against, and he turns them into lower quality, which means he cuts down on goals against. He protects the crease really well. He's tough. He'll fight. No one's going to run Carey Price when he's on the ice because he's big. He brings a lot that Jordie Benn did not bring. And he brings the same amount of offense pretty much as Jordie Benn. He got 20 points in Winnipeg. He'll get 20, 25 here. Not too bad. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a spot. I'm going to go down. I'm going to miss a few of these questions. Sorry. I've been watching some of these live streams, and I'm going to miss some. So if you have to re-ask, I'm really sorry. I got to get in. I missed too many questions overall, and yeah. Let's see now. Drouin, first and the fourth for Line A. I don't know if that would be considered enough. I wouldn't. If I had Line A and I was trading him, that's not enough. No, look, if Line A really does pan out and he becomes a 40 plus goal scorer like consistently, you're getting Drouin and a first round and a fourth. The fourth is a tossing. Drouin and a first isn't enough for a guy like that. Okay, I'm going down. Is Caulfield going to play this year? No, I really don't think so. I think he's going to go to the NCAA. It's been a dream of his, to play for Wisconsin Badgers. His brother plays there, and it's been a dream of his. Playing for Montreal was not a dream. He hasn't said that it was. He respects the team. He thinks it's a great fit, perfect fit for him. He's happy here. But he dreamt of playing for the Wisconsin Badgers. So I think he's going to go. Plus, a college education is a good thing. Look, he could get hurt. You never know. It's not a bad thing to get some college education. I'm going to go down a little bit. Rick, do I think Montreal Canadiens will sign a tryout with Andrei Markov? I don't think we're going to know that question until closer to camp. That's what I think. Closer to camp because things might happen. They might not need to do that. So I think if they get to camp and they haven't done anything else on defense, they might. Sports King, you might be right. They might sign him to a one-day contract and let him retire here. I can see that more than signing him to a contract. I can see a player tryout contract or professional tryout contract. But signing him to a contract before they see him, I don't think so. I can only watch the Habs. Seriously, I can't even watch Stanley Cup Finals if the Habs are not involved. I've been like that my whole life. But having this channel, maybe I don't have to, but I kind of want to. I want to change that. And I've been enjoying the games that I've been watching that aren't involving the Canadians. So, yeah. So you should give it a try. The thing is, this is why I'm doing the. I'm going to do some announcements after this. It's why I'm doing the hockey pool, which I'm going to announce. I did a video. I don't know if everybody saw it. When you play a hockey pool, it gets you involved with the players in your pool. So whoever you get in the draft, now you're watching for them. Now you might want to watch a game, see how they're doing. It kind of gets you out doing that a little more. So I find that helps a lot. So on that note, I'm going to do a couple things here. I don't see Sinbin here. Sinbin is one of my subscribers. You might have seen him out here. I just want to thank him. He did a podcast a live stream podcast, I guess you call it, last night, and he was like more than kind to me. I participated all the way through. It was really great. Check it out, Sinbin he's got a channel. Check it out. He's got about 75 videos. He's getting his start. He's coming around. I like his stuff. I like his picks. Check him out and give him a subscribe. Let's get him going. Yeah. What else? That's what I was doing. Sorry. My throat. That's what I'm saying. I want water. I want to thank, I don't know if they're here. Now maybe I can say their names. Looks like the podcast was on for me. They had some personal things to take care of. One of these guys, I'm not sure what it is getting married. It was stuff to do with that. So apparently maybe next week, something like that, we're going to be doing the podcast. So I want to thank Lewis and Gibby again. I don't know if you're watching, if you're going to watch maybe the video after. Thanks, Lewis and Gibby. I hope I won't let you down on that. I won't let you down. I'm confident enough in that. I just also, if you want, I started a Patreon page. Not for right now so much, but if anybody does want to join up, once I get a couple of people in there, I'll start putting up some stuff for it. There's nobody, I have no patrons yet. So I'm not putting up any content. If anybody has checked it out, that's the reason why. So once I get 2, 3, I'll start putting some content and doing the stuff I'm going to do for there. Description, link is in the description below. And now the hockey pool contest. So doing the hockey pool contest, if you want to enter, you have to go to my Twitter page at, I don't know if it's at Talking Habs or you can do my what do you call that? Whatever the other name is, at Meathead, all lowercase, MEATHEAD 402001. That'll get you to my page. DM. You gotta follow me to DM me. DM me your email address. Because they have to email you the info. So if you're going to win, so I'm going to put everybody into a draw, and I'm going to pick out, I've got 15 or 18 spots open, and if we get a really lot of people, I'll open up a second league. It's a head-to-head league with a draft a few days before the opening night of the next season. Anybody interested, just do those things, and I'm going to announce it first week of September. First live stream I do I'm going to pull the names out of the hat, and it'll be all done. So if you want to enter on my Twitter account, as I said, Meathead 400. Do this again, Meathead 402001 on Twitter there. So or at Talking Habs. I don't know which way it works. You got to follow me and DM me. Anyway, get back to you guys here. So that's my advertisements for the day. Business taken care of. My Twitter, I don't know if I put it on there. So, but everyone's got Twitter. You guys, you younger guys are better at it than me. That's for damn sure. Okay, let's get down to the bottom here and see what we got. David says, my uncle is from Toronto and is now in Ottawa, and my two cousins, his daughter leaves, and I don't mind the lease. My cousins from like that. Okay, wait, that's too much for me to, sorry, buddy. Yeah, you know what? Everybody likes who they like, David. I don't care. If you like the Bruins, like the Bruins. I hate the Bruins. I hate the Leafs. If you like them, you like them. It doesn't, no skin off my nose. I'm allowed, and you're allowed. Hab A Nation. Hab A Nation. Should the Habs trade for Jesse Puljujarvi? What should the Habs give up? I'm going to say no on Puljujarvi for this reason. It's not to say he doesn't have talent or anything like that. I don't like a player who gives that ultimatum to the GM that says, trade me or I play in Europe. I'm not playing. I don't like that for a guy who has never played hardly at all in the league. So I say no on that, on attitude alone. I don't know enough about Puljujarvi to say it on his talent. So what should they give up? If he hadn't done that and they were looking to get him and he hadn't done all that, what should they give up for him? He hasn't really done anything in the NHL yet, right? So I imagine, you know what, draft picks, maybe a lesser known a guy. I don't give up much for a guy who hasn't proven himself. I don't know. I guess he's a big guy. I don't know. I know he's from Finland, and he might fit in really well here, and I get that, but you can't overpay for somebody who hasn't at least proven himself a little bit, right? And playing with McDavid and Draisaitl, he should have had time. And I don't know the whole situation there, but that's my opinion. Yeah, Peter, PTO for Markov. I can later, unless we get, if we get somebody else, we don't need to do it. Yeah, okay, Nolan, I was just reading your thing. I wondered if you're asking me that. I remember what he said at development camp, and I agree. The thing is, right now he is with Wisconsin, so yes, he's playing in this World Junior thing, but he's with Wisconsin. He's committed to them, so he's not. The thing, if he does come to camp, he's playing at camp to make the team, and at development camp, I guess he was there to make the team if they thought he should, but I guess the consensus was, and I think I've heard Bergman say they would like to see him spend a year in Wisconsin. So I really believe he's going to spend the year in Wisconsin. But you're right. The first year he comes to camp, I believe he will make the team. Because if he comes to camp, he's coming there to make the team. And with a shot like that, it's going to be hard to turn away. Let's see. Who are you taking number one in fantasy? Well, I imagine you got to take McDavid. My luck is not usually to get the first pick. I think last season I'm on my league on Yahoo. I had the last pick, and I think it was 12. We had 12 teams. I'm not sure if it was 12 or 14. I had the last pick. But in a staking draft, last pick can be okay because you get 2 picks in a row. But you wait a long time in between is the problem. But you do get 2 picks in a row. So I made the best of it, and knowing that I had to wait a lot, I picked a lot of players that had multiple positions. I had 3 goaltenders. I took goaltenders early because I knew there weren't going to be any good goalies left, and I wanted Carey Price, and I got Vasilevsky. So I figured what I made up in goaltenders, or what I lost in not getting the early guys anyway, I made up in other places. Defensemen, you got to make it up elsewhere. You pick some of these guys higher up because you're not going to get the top guys anyway. And then you can say, well, you're going to miss the middle guys too. So it's a balance, but you got to do it. And that's why getting the last pick, you get them back to back, so you can pick one for position and one because he's the best player available. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's good. And like even if you're 12 teams, 11 is good too because you get it close. Anyway, do you see what I'm saying? And first gets the same thing first, and the next time they get 2 picks. And also, anybody in the draft, anybody's going to be in this pool, the position of who's picking where is decided 1 hour before by ESPN. We won't know till you kind of get into the room, and that's usually where I find out, oh, I'm last or I'm near last or whatever. I never get good picks. Jordan Wheel will be good next year. Yes. I have him at 39 points. I think 16 goals, 23 assists. But I can see Wheel if he can get, and I'm considering that he's going to be playing fourth line minutes, right? I don't see him playing, he may play some third line, but third and fourth line minutes. So what's that, guys? So, and I think playing third or fourth line minutes, getting 40 points is pretty damn good. And I think Wheel's capable. So I'm at 39 points. Let me go down here and see what I'm missing. Do I think Domi can score 50? No, I do not. No, not 50. I think 30, yes. Maybe a little bit higher, but I don't see 50. And I don't see him being a 40-goal scorer either. He's a playmaker. And I also see he's going to be on the wing. So maybe on the wing he'll be a little higher, but I still don't see 50. Ghislain, should we change the point system in the NHL? And for example, a win in regulation, 5 points. A win in overtime, 4 points. 2 in a shootout. You know, I think you just cause more confusion like that. So I say you kind of, why not go back to the way it used to be? Take away the, you lose in overtime or you lose in the shootout, you lose. You don't get a point. 2 points to the winner. That's it. I think that's, I don't know how it'll affect the standings, but I mean, so to me, anyways, that's a little convoluted. It's a lot to remember. How come we got so? It's going to be a little weird. It's too many options. So right now, what you get that extra point if you go to overtime, you got to take that away. Play, and then you'll probably get a lot more games that don't go to overtime because now you don't get that extra point. There's no comfort level there, so you got to play to win. And yeah, I like that better. But look, at my age, I'm more old-fashioned. You guys might see it a little differently. You younger guys, you older guys might agree with me. So, Anyways, let us know what you guys think in here. Who will be leading scorer? Domi, Gallagher, Drouin, Tatar, KK, Deneau, or Paling? Leading goal scorer and total scorer. I'm going to give both. I think Gallagher keeps his goal scoring title. I think even improves it by 1, maybe 2. I can see him getting 35, but I call him for 34. Points total, Domi, again, at 71. I'm calling him for 71. I don't think anybody – the only one I could see really doing that is Drouin, if he has that breakout year. I can see Drouin getting 80 points. So, and unless somebody else comes in that we don't know of right now, I don't see anybody else. Paling will not lead the team this year. It's his rookie season. He's not going to lead the team. Tatar, I think Tatar, he's played long enough to know that we know he's going to slot in somewhere between 53 and his career high was last season 58. So he's going to come in somewhere around there. I don't know if he's peaked, but I don't think he's going to go that much higher. Let me break him down now. KK, I think KK, if he plays second line minutes, especially hits 50, 20 goals, 30 assists, which isn't it? It's like 16 points more than he got last season. If he gets moved up a line, I think that's quite reachable. But I don't think he leads the team. Deneau won't lead the team. So, yeah, I mean, it's got to be Domi. Unless we have a surprise out there. Suzuki makes the team and he breaks out. And I mean, that can happen. I could see Suzuki being a type of player that in his rookie season, that's a lot to ask for. But I could see him getting 50 in his rookie season. I'm not saying he'll do it, but okay. I'm going to hit the bottom here. Okay. Asia's on. Okay, if you're still there, come back whenever you want. We're on for about another hour. Am I crazy, or is Tatar much better than he seems? I really like Tatar. Something about him I like. I like Tatar. I like his energy. I like the way he can pounce on an opportunity. I like he's pretty speedy. He can handle the puck at high speed and all that. I like the way he breaks to the net. Yeah, Do I think he really goes much higher than the 58 points? I don't, but I could see him hitting 60, 61. I can see that. But he's been around a few years. He's, I think, 28. He's in his prime. He's reaching his ceiling at some point now. So, yeah. But, I mean, I love the guy. They're talking about trading him. Like, are you kidding me? Tatar, we just got him. Imagine. Let me see now. Don't worry, David. Don't worry, Rick. I'm a nice guy. I'm a nice guy. You understand. I don't know what I did. Yeah, I'm a decent guy. I hope I didn't hurt your feelings. I didn't mean to if I did. It wasn't anything meant. Hab Nation, you give them Byron for Jesse. Yeah, I know why, though. I know why, because it's going to be size, but I don't know. Byron might be more important to us than what Puljujarvi's size and what he brings to the table besides the size brings to us. So I don't know. Now, and if we're going to get into this, I don't want to get into the size thing. I'll say this. I don't disagree with you that we need a number of guys that have the size. I get that. My point is just you don't shy away from a guy just because he's small. And yes, we do have a little, I kind of agree we're a little on the small side, which is why I kind of mentioned Frolik. I think Frolik's a good option, and he brings a little more size, and it will help us in the playoffs. So, but I don't want to get into size pretty much now. I hope we don't get into that down here. Let's see. David, I think overtime should be no points, including the shootout. Yeah, it's 2 points to the winner. That's what I think. I think it solves a lot of problems. Although, I don't mind ties. I don't mind. Instead of going, like, do your 5-minute overtime. If it ends there, it's a tie. I don't mind doing that. I think it might be better than that shootout. But I know the shootout is more exciting. I don't know. Do fans really like it better? I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys like the shootout over a tie game? Because I don't mind a point each for the tie. But it's 2 points a game. That's what's offered. It's 2 points for every game. My computer has decided I'm going to shut down and go to sleep. My computer is tired. It's been on for a while. Yeah, I don't mind going. I'm a little old-fashioned, but I don't mind it that way. If you're going to give 1 point for something, why not split the 2 points, give one each, and it's a tie game? And maybe increase the overtime to 10 minutes if you want, or 7 or 8 minutes, but it ends in a tie. Hey, Jazan, welcome back, buddy. How well does Price does, excuse me, I read it wrong. How well Price does also depends on the defensive end or team effort. Well, that's why he picked it. Well, this is a big reason why we got Sherratt in here, I'm sure. He granted he didn't get the left side defenseman that he wanted, but he brought Sherratt in for more than just that he's a left side defenseman. He's a guy who protects Price. He cuts down on chances. He cuts down on goals against. He's going to make a difference, Sherratt. I'm not sure who it was. A while back, someone in a video, I guess I was talking about the left-hand defense video. That was a couple months ago. I think it's my biggest video as far as views. And he mentioned Sherratt to me, and I didn't know anything about Sherratt, but Sherratt's a good pickup. Like, if you got to get rid of somebody, it's not Sherratt that's going to go now. It's going to be Kulak. Nation. I agree. I like Byron, but the Oilers need wingers. Byron would do well there. And Jesse P is a Finn, isn't he? Might get along with Kate. Oh, yeah, I don't disagree. I totally don't disagree with you there. I really don't. Which is, it's why I thought in the draft, how did Edmonton pass up Caulfield? Imagine what Caulfield would look like with McDavid feeding him. It's like mind-boggling. Because I had Caulfield to Edmonton on a few of my. No, I don't disagree with you. It's just I don't like the attitude. I don't like the attitude of a player saying, "Hey, I've got no clout in the league. Trade me, or I go to Europe." I don't like that. It's just too reminiscent of Eric Lindros back in the day. Mario Lemieux didn't want to stand up for Pittsburgh when he got drafted. I don't like that. I think hockey players should be more respectful. And I don't know, maybe I'm talking out of hand. I don't know the situation there, but from what I can tell, I think it's a little wrong on the player. So there you go. Yes, I like Byron too. I think he's a better player than I gave him credit for. In a couple of my videos saying I don't see a spot for Byron. Yeah, I think that's the whole point. That's the whole point, Cyrus, my dog. It's the whole point of Byron. He doesn't need a spot. He can play anywhere, wherever he's needed. I didn't realize that about him really, and yeah, Byron's kind of you got to keep this guy. Even if you got to move salary, I think you got to move elsewhere. So listen again. I'm going to remind you. I might be missing some of the questions because I'm leaving it at the bottom. So if I didn't answer you and it's passed, type it again and I'll try to get to it. I personally like players who play with heart. I like Gallagher, Byron, and so on. I prefer heart and hustle over just skill. Yeah, but there is a point where on at least one guy maybe in your team, you're gonna have to give a little bit of that up, which is like what Kovalev brought to us. And the thing is that Kovalev, even with that kind of an attitude, still, like I said, was able to put up 70 points, 84 points. He did that 1 year here. 53 doesn't cut it. Not when you're in your 6th or 7th season. It doesn't cut it for a guy with talent like that. So he needs to just either look in the mirror or kick himself in the ass and just go out and do it and don't complain about it. And I don't mean to, it's not to be mean, but it's hockey. Go out and fucking do it. Especially when you got the talent. If I only had a tenth of his talent, I wish. Let me get somewhere here. Ghislaine Trouba from Winnipeg. Yeah, the Rangers. Good move by the Rangers, I think. They might have paid him a little too much, but they needed a guy like that. Randy. Hey, Rick. Hey, Randy. Can I get a double barrel salute? Boom. I didn't know that was a double barrel salute. It just came naturally to me. Who's going to play with Weber? Well, it's going to be Mete. And, Mete's, what is he, 21? He's going to be 21. He's going to be better. I don't put him down for what he did last year. That's, what is his first full season. Hang on. And I don't even think a full season, right? He spent some time in the AHL. So, Mete's got the wheels. Mete's got the offensive potential. He needs another couple of seasons. I'll give you that. But until someone's better there, I think it's Mete. And I'll say this: they don't have anybody right now that is going to be better than Mete there. Randy, I agree with you. I think Mete's going to have a great season. At least a much better points-wise, a much better season than he had last season. Seng Gardner is not worth a sniff. I don't think so. I agree. I don't want him to sign Gardner. And it's not he's not worth a sniff, whatever. We don't need to spend that money. And I don't know. His back might be bad. I don't know. Defensively, he's not the greatest. And I guess that's why you pair him with Weber, because Weber is going to make up for it. But I don't want to see Gardner come in. I said in a video, maybe you sign him. I don't know. I'm kind of waffly on him. I get it. But right now, I'm on the no Gardner. Hab Nation. When Sherratt visited the Habs first time, Byron was the only Hab there to meet him. Yeah, well, there might have been reasons for that. Byron's a great guy, and I think Byron lives here full time. Not everybody lives here full time. Like Weber, he lives in DC. So, there might have been reasons for that. I don't think Sherratt was unhappy. Galactic, Gardner's good, very good, but as an offensive defender, he's a bit iffy on the defensive side. Yeah, I know and what are you gonna what's he gonna ask? 5.5, 6 million? You got to think, right? I don't like that. Yeah, he's NPC. He's probably asking for it's either too much or too much term, or he's literally holding out hope that Toronto signs him. Although I think every day that goes by, that's more than unlikely. Now there was a rumor that the next team that gets rid of a high-priced defenseman is the team that he's going to sign with, because apparently he has said he's got a handshake deal with a team that has to move a high-priced defenseman. There's speculation that that high-priced defenseman is Alsner. I don't think that's it, but somebody did move a defense, Shattenkirk. Rangers moved Shattenkirk, who was high-priced, and quite frankly, Shattenkirk's probably a better defenseman than he showed last year. I would still think, right? So I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised to see Gardner go to Rangers. Let's see now. Where was I? Hab Nation. Mete's a good Toronto boy. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care where a player comes from. He's in a Habs uniform. That's what matters. And he's a good player. Galactic, bottom line, I like the team as it stands now with the current roster. Remember, our future is very, very bright, and with all their new up-and-comers. That's what I've been preaching, brother. I've been preaching that. That's right. And, look, I made this a point. I don't even remember what video, and I'm sorry. I don't mean to. I'm not really promoting my videos, just that I did refer this in there. I was saying that it's a young team. Most of the team is either in their prime, just getting into their prime, or a couple of years away from their prime and approaching it. And that means that every year they're getting better. I mean, if they're being developed properly, and it looks like they are, every year this team is getting just a little bit better on its own without having to bring other players in, right? They're getting better. The talent level is rising. So you factor that in with the addition of Sherratt, of a little bit better backup. Who else did we bring in? Oh, why am I blanking on who else we brought in? Nick Cousins. He'll shore up that fourth line. I think we're a better team all around. And if it just takes 4, 5, 6 points more to get in, I think we meet the challenge. Yes, there's other, like Florida's definitely going to be a better team. But, what's on paper has to be played out. And I guess that goes against what I just said too. But, yeah, the games are played on the ice for a reason. It's a cliche, but there's a reason that's a cliche. And until the games are played, we don't know. Injuries, nobody can predict that. So, yeah, I really think Montreal makes it. 100 points, maybe 102, 103. That's what I think. I'm landing over here on UMG Sicko. Okay, I'm hoping he's not. The comment looks okay. I'm going to read it. I want to see Juleson get the shot at being the third right-hand defenseman. I think he's going to get a shot at it. It'll be his to win. I kind of imagine that it is his shot to lose, I should say. Yeah, it's his to lose. Is that the right term? He's got to be the front runner. With Juleson, for me, is I know he's fully recovered from his injury, which is great. The thing is, we don't know how he's gonna play, and how the injury will affect him on the ice, at least at the beginning of his comeback. So that's for me the only question mark. But he's definitely promising. Galactic again. Bergevin is smarter than people think. Sure, we all make mistakes, but I think he's done more good than bad. And what he's doing now with the prospects and drafts was smart, in my opinion. I agree with that. I think Bergevin gets a bad rap. Yes, he had a troubled first few years. But look, everything I've ever done at the beginning, I had to learn, right? I say I think he's learned his craft. And the last 2-3 seasons, with the moves he's made and the draft picks that he's drafted, I think he's shown that he is a damn good GM. Look, he's thinking about the freaking cap. Everybody wants to spend the money, but you spend the money today and you don't have it later. And this is another reason why Frolik makes sense. He's got 1 year left next season, left on a $4.3 million contract. After next season, you can do that with him. He's gone. You have the money this year. It's not affecting you moving forward. It's when you bring in players with term, or you sign them to term, it's going to affect you down the road. Bergevin is smart. He's not affecting his long term. He's got to sign all these kids coming up. You think Caulfield's going to be cheap after his ELC runs out? I don't think so. So I think he's a smart guy. And I like him. And everyone's saying fire him, fire him, fire. Like, why? Fire a guy who's doing a good job now? He might have been bad at the beginning and learning curve thing, it happens to everybody. You don't fire him when he's doing the job. Okay. Rant over. Sang Sung. Sorry if I did. Will we finally make the playoffs this season? I do believe so. Excuse me. My mouth is dry. I believe so because I have them. I kind of figured 100 points. What did I have it? 45. I don't remember the record. So I think so. Wild card spot maybe, yes, but yeah, they're gonna make the playoffs. Where am I? Okay, there we are. Mark Bergevin is doing much better than Melnick. Melnick, the owner in Ottawa. It's a circus there in Ottawa, David. Circus. KK, Paling, Suzuki, Caulfield. We need the cap space. We damn well imagine. And look, KK. I'm not sure KK, Paling, and Suzuki, and somebody else. They got to be signed the same season. Caulfield, it'll be 3 years after he signs his ELC. KK, I'm not sure when. I think it's next year. Domi is in a year. No, this is going to cost money. We have to apply pressure as a fan, or they don't try to win. I agree with that, but within reason too, right? Just like I gotta go. No problems with that. You can come in and out. Don't worry. Levi, it's funny how Bergevin went from a fool to a genius in a matter of 2 to 3 years. He didn't. He went from a guy learning his position, his post, to a guy who has learned what he's doing and he's applying it. That's how I see it. It's Peter. It's much harder with the cap. Oh, gaming, Rick. Money influences everything. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Money is everything, of course. And look, with the cap, it kind of guarantees. We have a hard cap. It kind of guarantees. At some point, you got to get rid of players. You can't keep everybody for long. So your window, the sooner you sign a guy to a big contract, that's when your window starts to shrink on that guy, And then your overall window for winning a cup, it's always all over the place. It's really tough. With a hard cap like that, it's a tough thing to manage. So anybody who can manage a cap is a genius. And literally, they do have guys that do that. It's not Bergevin. They have guys that manage the cap and give them advice and everything. Let's see. Yeah, Galactic. Yeah, people don't put themselves in Bergie's place. Another thing that people don't do. Yes, there's a lot of stress being a GM, especially in Montreal. That's for sure. But we don't know day to day who he talks to, what GMs he's dealing with and having conversations with. We have zero idea. We have zero idea how many guys he may have had his hand and made offers to. We don't know. So he's probably doing a way better job than we think, but we don't hear about it. So it's a really unsung kind of a job, unsung hero type of a job, and we just don't know. And he gets a lot of flack when things go bad or look bad. He's the face of the franchise, kind of administration-wise. So I think he's doing a great job. I really do. I've always liked him. Yes, I've been critical of him, but always been hopeful. And it seems like the last couple of seasons that hope in him has borne fruit, because I really like what he's been doing. Let me find something here. Just now, are we too much rapid on the trigger in Montreal, or are we too slow? Should take much time with prospects or not? You know, I guess it's a fine line, right? Um, it has a lot to do with the prospect themselves and mental capability, like how they can handle stress and expectation and all that kind of stuff. So I think in the past, the problem wasn't necessarily that we were too quick on the draw, is that we they were really bad in the drafting table, I think, and the talent on the farm was no good. When they got a guy that was anywhere good, they brought him out. I can't remember his name, the guy that we kind of ruined. Um, was a right winger, I believe. Can't remember. I never remembered this guy's name, and it's too bad. I can't remember his name. He was going to be the next great one, and he had promise and everything. And I think it was under Guy Carbonneau, and they rushed him, and he turned out to do nothing. Too bad. So yeah, you got to be careful about rushing guys, which is probably why I think Nick Suzuki is going to stay in Laval to start the season anyway. I think just on that, Paling is ready. I don't think anybody's rushing Paling. KK proved that he was worth rushing, and I do believe they rushed him a little bit, but I think Bergie kind of needed to do that to prove himself and to save his job. It's a possibility. Thank God KK's who he is, and he handled it really well, and I don't think he's ruined. So yeah, you got to be careful. It's a really fine line how to handle guys. But then again, a lot, like I was saying, is a lot to do with up here. Not everybody is the same and handles things the same. So everybody's different. I think Bergie is a badass, and I've always liked him, regardless of what people say. End of story. One thing I like about him is, how do I put it? He's got a kind of a free. That's not the word I'm looking for. He's the biggest prankster around. I like his sense of humor. I like the way he enjoys life. I like that about him, and he's a smart dude. He's a smart dude. He learned his job, and he's putting it to practice. I'm UMG sicko. I'm watching vids of development camp this summer. Paling is a man amongst boys. Yeah, Paling's ready. Paling's ready. At 20 years old, he's got the body. He's got an NHL body. He's a big boy. I know he's over 6 feet. I don't know how. I think he's a 6'1" or 6'2", I think. But he's not a small guy. Smart hockey player. Smart hockey player. Let's see. Starting lineup predictions. Thanks, I'm going to refer you. Did I do that video? Oh, I wonder if I actually did. I don't think I did the video. I've been trying to work on that video. I'm not sure if you know what? I think I did a video on it. If not, yeah, I think I did. The start. My predictions now. Yeah, too many things going on in my head. I can't remember. Just look it up. I've got a video out on it. Sorry, guys. Saturday nights, it's hard to concentrate when I get an hour in. Laton Dress, Levi, thank you, Guillaume Laton Dress. That kid, he showed a lot of promise, and they rushed him, and he's a good model for why you don't rush a player. Because I think that kid 2-3 years in the minors would have made a big difference. Guillaume, I can never remember his name. Okay. Okay, Galactic. Let me see. It wants to. I'm gonna show your thing. Oh, because you said shits in it. Okay, it hid your thing. Off topic. Bergie looks like he can smash the smile off anyone's face. Literally, no shit given. Jesus, he's built, eh? Strong. A former defenseman. You got to push people off you. He kept that. I wish I had the guns he has. I'll tell you that. 6'2". Okay, so we're Paling is 6'2". Yeah, he's a big boy. He gives us that up front size Hab Nation likes so much, and I like it too. If you get it, a guy like Paling, a guy with talent, I love size, not a problem. But I don't reject the guy without, that's what I'm saying. So it's not that I like smaller guys. I hope nobody thinks that. Right, Hab Nation? I don't think that. Okay. I like how Bergie gets annoyed with some questions when he does interviews. Yeah, with the Aho offer sheet, he was mad at somebody. I laughed when I heard that one. Imagine him as a defenseman. He must have been pretty intense as a defenseman. I hear he was, actually. Okay, wait. Got to get to the bottom of this now. Where's the bottom? There. Oh, wait. Was I at the bottom? 24 people in here, and I'm at the bottom already. Come on, guys. I need some more questions. Paling is 6'3" now. Yeah, it might be right. I think I actually saw something like that he had grown an inch. When I was doing a video, I saw an older scouting report. He was 6'2", and then a newer one said he was 6'3". Paling is ready. Oh, there's no doubt Paling is ready. It's hard. Okay, the predicted lineup. Okay, I get into this now. I think first line stays the same as last year. Tatar, Gallagher, Danault. I see that. It's the second line that becomes a problem, and where everybody has a problem, is what do you do with Domi? Does Domi stay the center of the second line, or is Domi going to have to be moved over? And then where it becomes a question, or here's the question is, can Paling and Suzuki both be centers and one of them not be a second line center? I don't see Paling staying at fourth line anymore. And someone was telling me they heard that Thompson was guaranteed a spot. That was one of the reasons he signed, or to get him to sign, they guaranteed he'd have a spot. So, because I kind of thought Thompson would be traded, I don't see a spot for him. Paling played the fourth line. So I say this is my lineup. So I gave you the first line. Second line for me is going to be KK, centering Domi. And if Drouin doesn't get traded, Drouin. You know what? I'm going to amend that. KK centering Domi on the left. If Suzuki makes it, Suzuki on the right. If Suzuki doesn't make it, here's my conundrum. Does Paling play the right, or does Paling play third line center? I think Paling is a center and he's going to play, so he's going to play third line center. So we need a guy on the right side, second line. That could be a hole. We're going to fill it with Paul Byron for now. Third line, Paling is the center. He's got Lehkonen and Armia on his wings. Fourth line, you have either Thompson. I don't know, I'm looking at myself. Thompson as the center, and I'll say Thompson and Cousins taking center. You got Wheel on the right side, and either Cousins or Byron on the left side. There's my front lineup. Defense, Mete, Weber, Sherratt, Petrie, Kulak, Juleson, and Folan splitting time. Riley is the backup to Kulak, and again, Juleson and Folan backing each other up. In goal, obviously, Price and Kincaid. There's my lineup. Who was asking me for the lineup? I just gave it to you. In a moment of clarity, Talking Habs gave his lineup. Okay. Gislain, Mario Tremblay. He's already said in the Habs last dynasty, the guys on the first line, Shutt, Lemaire, and Lafleur, score 40 to 50 goals every year. Shutt got that. Lafleur got that. Lemaire, I think Lemaire was more of a 25-goal scorer, though. And 25 goals, 40 to 50-odd assists, if I'm right. But I don't remember Lemaire being a 40-goal scorer. Now, I could be wrong, but this is my memory. And it's not because he wore number 25, but that's what he was in the 20 to low 30s. But Shutt and Lafleur, Lafleur had 6 years of 50 to 60 goals. And Shutt, I believe, was in the high 30s to the 40s for those years too. Did that answer that? I don't know. The last Habs dynasty, I saw all the cups. I didn't see every single game, but I saw a lot of games. And yeah, I mean, we'll never. Unfortunately, I don't know if the NHL will ever see another dynasty do 4 in a row. Because now a dynasty is 3 out of 4, 4 out of 5, 4 out of 6, even 3 out of 6. Okay, Peter, where do I think is the best preparation college CHL team or staying in Europe for young players? That's a good question. That might be beyond my. I'll say for the CHL, I know the London Knights are a great developmental team. I don't know. I don't know if I know enough to answer that. In Europe, I would have to say send them to Finland. Good things coming out of Finland, I gotta tell you. Yeah, I don't know more than that. Sorry. Colleges, I don't know. From what I understand, yeah, you know what? I don't know. I don't even know what the best college is. Something I have to learn over time. The second line was 30 to 40 goals a year, and the third line 20. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, right. Okay, but answer. Can you answer that question for me? I can't. I don't have time to look that up now. Lemaire, was he a 40-goal scorer? I don't think so. But yeah, I look at back in the Habs day, in the dynasty days, they had talent coming out, coming out of their wazoo, as they say. Um, Everybody was talented. It was amazing. Every line could score. Yeah, a hell of a hockey team. I was very lucky. I was very spoiled my first 10 years as a hockey fan. Very spoiled, and suffered for it for the next 10 years after the last cup. Um, those two in between the last cup in the 70s and those two others, suffered for it, not seeing it happen every year, not being in the running every year, not being the best team, expecting to be the best team. It took a lot of getting used to. Levi, I see Thompson as a face-off specialist and playing on the penalty kill. Yeah, I can see Thompson doing that. Yeah, maybe he's splitting time that way. I don't know, but then yeah, my cat wants to eat, and then the problem there is you're giving up a spot kind of on your lineup to carry a guy that's not playing full minutes for that line, So I don't know if I like that so much. I'm not sure. Thanks. Okay, you're welcome. You remember 93. 93 that was an awesome year. Patrick Waugh was amazing. That was an awesome year. Those overtimes on the edge of your seat, you knew it was going to go into overtime. Of course it was. You got to stay up late. You got to have a jittery stomach, all that stuff, because you knew it was going to happen, because that's the way it was going to be. And they pulled it out every time, and it was amazing. Unfortunately, the last one we've gotten to see. Galactic, here's an idea you should make a video about. Here's what my Habs would look like if it was up to me. And make your Habs team and choices. Would be interesting to see what you would choose. Yeah, I like the idea. I do. My worry for me doing it is I'm a Habs homer. We see our players through, as I say, blue, blah, rouge glasses, colored glasses. And I might pick too many of our actual Habs but that's an interesting idea. I'm going to consider that. I like that idea, though. Yeah, that's an interesting idea. I'd have to force myself to, maybe it would be maybe I would say what the Habs would look like if it was up to me, but I have to have a rule that I can't pick any existing Habs, or there's keepers and the rest I can't pick them. Something like that to limit my Habs choices. But I like the idea, and I'm going to consider that. Peter, that's what I've been saying. Must be something in the water in Finland, I got to tell you. As you said, Lemaire scores 44 goals in 72-73. You see, I would not have known that. That's yeah. Well, there you go. The Habs were something special back in the 70s, guys. And before that, but I didn't see them before that. So, but back in the 70s, the Habs were something special. Anybody who didn't get to see that, it's hard to imagine. I mean, it's hard to imagine that if you don't win the Stanley Cup, it's a shitty year. So it doesn't matter if you were in the final and lost, you didn't win the Cup. Shitty year next year. And expecting next year to win the Cup, not hoping next year to win the Cup, expecting to. That's something, it's hard to imagine if you haven't been there. Yeah, we got about 15 minutes, baby, and then I'll feed you. Okay, she's old. She eats a lot, so I feed her a few times. She lets me know when it's time. She can't eat dry food as easily. Lemaire was the defense on the big line. Very strong back checker. Yeah, oh, I know. He was the center. And yeah, I know that about him. That's why I didn't think he scored that many goals. A great hockey player, though, and a great hockey mind. And obviously defensive minded. Look how he is as a coach. Just there. Remember the 79 Cup, 86 and 93. The last one was not expected. You turned 47 today. All right. I'm 56 in February. Yeah, 93 was, well, 86 and 93, both were not expected. 86, all the big guys got knocked out, if I'm right. And that's why the Habs were there. Plus Patrick Waugh stood on his head. 93, definitely not expected. It was all those overtimes. Patrick Waugh, Conn Smythe Trophy winner both times. Galactic. Randy, I like to try Byron on the first or third line, not fourth. Not first. Second line. There's a hole on the second line right now that Byron can't fill. I don't know if he can do it the whole season, and I don't know if we want to have another, well, I'll say it, another guy that size all season. Although getting, for the regular season, that's okay, but then you've got to adjust into the playoffs. But I don't see him as a first liner. But to fill in, yes, you can fill in anywhere, but not as a regular spot. Galactic, yes, that's how we have. But you know, it's been so many years, I've gotten used to it. That's why I'm so excited. I get so excited about what's going on here right now. I see this. I see the torch being passed. I see what's going on here. The talent level is starting to be here. These are elite level guys. Sorry, I got a cat on my lap. I got one hand now. Yeah. These are elite level kids. Plus, these kids, man, wow, are they good? These aren't the same. It's not like the same when I was younger. The game these kids are playing is fast. It's not that far off the NHL game. So, yeah. I lost my train of thought. 10 more minutes to go, guys. My voice is going to just make it. Okay, Galactic. I don't get your point about taxes, but I don't know where it comes from, but it does make it harder to get elite players here. Taxes. All Canadian teams have that problem, especially here in Quebec. Also, the Canadian dollar. Don't forget, we pay out all NHL teams pay in U.S. dollars. So all the Canadian teams have to put out more than, a guy signs 5 million. It's not 5 million Canadian. So that's part of that's an effect on everything here. Damn the salary cap. It's good in some ways, but I'm not sure. The thing is, if we go to a luxury tax where they'll pay I don't know if you call it a fine, but they have to pay out into a fund that gets distributed to the lower teams, right, to help them compete. So you can sign and have a big payroll. Problem is they're going to do that, and when that happens, you had 3, 4, 5 teams. They're the only teams that had a shot to win a cup. That was it. That's all. I don't want to go back to that either. So the salary cap keeps you from that. That's for sure. And the price you pay is you got other things that are wrong with it. I think the other things that are wrong with it are less wrong than if a team could just stockpile all the good players, have a salary payroll like 120 million, and nobody else is above 80. I mean, I don't like that. Peter is not pulling rank, but he's going to be 73 this month. Way to go, Peter. Way to go, Peter. 73. Keep on chugging, man. 73 is young today anyway. 73, you got a long way to go. I'm 56, so even if it's not true, I'm telling myself that. Sang Sung, I agree with you on that. Way too many teams. Way too many teams. Move the teams around. Besides, at 32 teams, I don't see them expanding anymore, and I hope not. I think of a team like there's talk about Houston getting a team, but that's going to be a move team. I don't see. I think when Arizona, when they're done there, they're going to be moved to, to Houston. But yeah, 32 teams. I mean, come on, it's already being watered down enough. I think you can take away some teams, yeah. Gislain, I totally agree. Today's kids are scary good. Oh my God, today's kids make the NHLers of my day look slow. So yeah, they're scary good. Poonscat, where are you from, Rick? Well, I'm in Montreal right now. I'm not born in Montreal. I'm actually born in the U.S. I was born in upstate New York. My parents are from here. My father was working in New York when I was born, so that's why I have dual citizenship. But I've been here since July 1967, and I have not left or moved anywhere else but Montreal, where I love to live. And yeah. Before we go, I want to do again just a quick run through, just in case the sin bin has come in or not. I want to shout out to the sin bin. Thanks for last night on his Livestream podcast. He was just very flattering to me and more than nice. I thank you so much. Undeserved, but thank you so much. I really appreciate it. If Lewis and Gibby are watching or will watch, shout out. We're going to be doing that podcast hopefully really soon. That's Hab A Listen. All in the description below. There's a link to get to Hab A Listen podcast. Check it out. Really good. I was listening to one last night. Really good stuff. My Patreon page, I'm just starting out. There's no patrons left yet. When I get some, I'm going to start putting more content on there. So if you want to check it out, there's a link down there. And the hockey pool contest. Hockey pool. Go to my Twitter page at talkinghabs, and if that gives you a problem, it's at meathead all lowercase 402001, and you got to follow me and then DM me your email address, and I will enter you into the draw, which will be the first week of September, the first live stream of September, and we'll draw to see who's going to be in the pool. And yeah, I just wanted to get that in before we finish up. Got 5 more minutes. So I'm from Poughkeepsie, New York, was where I was born. But I consider myself a Canadian and a Montrealer and a Quebecer before I'm anything else. And if I'm too old now, but I was registered for the draft. If the U.S. ever drafted me into a war, I'm staying right here. I'm not fighting for anybody but Canada. Okay, I answered that. Yes. Okay, good night, Galactic. See you next time, buddy. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it so much. Peter, the Leafs will buy the cup with no cap or maybe rain. Well, that's the problem, and that's kind of what was happening before, right? Before the salary cap came in and the collective bargaining agreement and all that, they were just buying a team, and you could do that. And I don't know, I didn't like it. It was frustrating because Canadian teams are really handcuffed because of the exchange on the dollar. Levi, really dislike expansion teams since we risk losing a player. It's not their fault. It's the way it is. I don't dislike. I like the Golden Knights. I do. I don't know enough about them, but I really like Louis VGK coverage. Watch him. Also, my buddy Scotty 2 Hockey. Guys, if you haven't joined up, VGK coverage, even if you're not a Knights fan, he's fun to watch. And Scotty 2 Hockey, I love his different styles he does, and he knows what he's talking about hockey. And he's got a great channel. So please go there and subscribe and watch and ring the bell and all that and support all of us guys because we're all kind of friends here now. And I think it's cool, you watch me, the other guy, this guy. Okay, but the important thing is I said it in the right, you watch me first, then you go to the other guys, and then it's okay. So, okay, but yeah, support these guys. I'd appreciate it. I should link my Twitter in the description of all vids, Rick. There's a reason why I don't. Because I have a feeling if I do, more people, I try not to get people really to click away. I'm only recently started putting more things in my description, and I guess I'll add Twitter to it. But the more that's in there, the more you click away from the videos. And I kind of want you in there. I want you to watch my videos. I guess that's what it is. But that's probably the reason. But I've been putting everything now in there, and yeah, you'll probably see Twitter get added. I used to put it in. I stopped. I didn't use Twitter a lot. I've been using Twitter a lot lately. I've gotten into Twitter and stuff, so yeah, I should put it back in there. Hab Nation, Scotty is too what for my taste? Well, are you saying because of where he's from? I don't find his accent. I hardly notice it, honestly. He says a couple of words differently, like pre-move. I tried to get him to change that. He said, no, that's the way they say it there. And hey, look, that's where he's from. I don't know if that's what you're saying. Or too much of a homer and you misspelled it. He loves his Habs. His commentary is good. His analysis is good. He knows what he's talking about. He's passionate. Nothing wrong with that in my mind. And I like his new styles that he's been messing with. I like what he's doing. Hey, Tangsung, take her easy. Thanks for coming in. I don't know if I think I've seen you before, but I like your questions. I hope you come back. I'm every Saturday here, buddy. Go Habs, go. Let me see. Did I miss anything? Just that. To be honest, I was a Flames fan when I was a teenager. Then the Nordiques before going back to the Habs. I was never a Nordiques fan, but man, I love the Nordiques. And why do I say that? Because the games between the Nordiques and the Habs were amazing. Were so fun to watch. Were so incredibly good. The rivalry was amazing. So I love the Nordiques. Even though I didn't really like them as a team, but I love that franchise, and I would love it to come back. Would love it to come back. Yeah, thanks, Hung. Looking forward to that full season 2 with the new guys. I should be doing this live stream all the way through the season 2. Probably live streaming the games, if not the full game part of it. So I'm not decided yet how I'm doing it, but I'm here every Saturday, buddy. Hope to see you again. Have a good night. Hey, David, good night. Thanks for coming in, David, as always. Out in Ottawa. Yeah, I'm getting ready too. You know what? We're going to call it a night. I'm down at the bottom. Okay, MJ, I'm going to answer that one. When will you do live streams when season starts? Habs will be on Hockey in Canada at this time on Saturday night. Yeah, I'm going. I'm not sure. I haven't decided if I'm going to do the games. I'll probably do some hockey games where I live stream either first period or third period, and I'll probably do this Saturday hockey stream a little earlier, like before the game. So I haven't decided, but I'm going to decide soon because it's coming up in a couple of months. But I'm going to be doing live streams once a week all the way through, and once Patreon picks up, I'll be doing a live stream once a week for Patreon as well. Okay, so I'm going to give it and I got to feed my cat. Thanks, everybody. If you're not still here, watch it after. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. Really appreciate it. I love this community. You guys are amazing. A lot of fun on Saturday nights. Gives us something to do. Go Habs, go. And I'll see you all next week. Have a good week, everybody.